rolling. Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. What is going on? We are your hosts. My name is Brad.
My name's Miguel, guys.
And this is our 10th episode celebration special. Miguel, how are you doing, buddy? We are at 10 episodes.
10 episodes. I didn't think we'd get past 5. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, please. Well, here's the thing. When we started this, for whatever reason, whenever you do a project, anything like this, you set long-term goals, short-term goals.
Talk,
I don't know what
I'm
saying.
My man. Talk.
But I don't know. For some reason, I knew we would get to 10 episodes, but I wanted to make sure that we kept trying to bump up the quality and bump up the content. And I think we've done that. I think, especially with everything we're doing tonight, I think we were successful in that. Would you agree?
Honestly, yeah, I totally agree. It's been actually pretty wild. I don't remember how you introduced me, because guys, listen to this. This was Brad's idea, and the two of us were always like really good friends with one another, and we always, whenever we would hang out, we'd always end up talking about movies or just cinema in general. So I mean, this was always a comfortable thing for us to talk about. And then one day, I don't remember, I think I was just like at work, and you sent me a text. It was like, "Hey, I got a great idea." And I was like, "All right, what's up?"
It was after all of that. It was after all that Marvel stuff dropped, and I was like, I want a place to talk about it. Like,
oh yeah,
I want a place to talk about it with other people, and that was kind of my thing. But yeah, we've got a fantastic show for you guys tonight. In just a few minutes, we are going to join Instagram Live, and we're going to have a Q&A session. We're going to talk about our new look, which dropped at 5 p.m. today. Hope you guys are enjoying that. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see our new look. It looks, I love it. It's really that 80s retro vibe. And we have some crazy movie news for you today too. So without further ado, I think we are going to try and hop on Instagram Live real quick.
Let's see if this works. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've never done Instagram Live, so I mean, this will be interesting for us to try. Probably should have did a test round. I'm not going to trip.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
this is my first live, so give us just a second here. Miguel, what'd you watch this week?
Let's see. Well, I'm still on Game of Thrones. We're still watching that with my dad. I'm rewatching it. It's his first time, so we're going through that. What else? I got Disney Plus, so finally, you guys, and
you did get it.
I did get it, yeah. And I checked out WandaVision, and I caught up all the way to this episode. And let me tell you, I would love to talk about that. It's
amazing, isn't it? I told you it was amazing.
Who the fuck is Agatha? I'm not gonna lie.
I know.
I'm a comic book reader, and I was like, I don't know who the hell this is.
We just finished that a little bit, probably about an hour ago, and we were like, because there was one point I was like, she's Mephisto. That's who it is. Agnes is Mephisto. But then she said, well, I don't even remember. What was her name?
Agatha.
Yeah, I don't know. That one got me. I was like, I have no idea.
I think it's dope that the actress that's playing her, she's a pretty funny actor, and she has a lot of personality. Like, have you seen her?
She's a great actress.
Yeah, great. So, well, I mean, seeing her as a villain, I hope they don't kill her off.
Yeah.
Because you know how MCU, they always like end up killing off some villains here and there.
They kill off the villains,
yeah. I hope they keep her because she's awesome.
And the thing about her, which was really cool, is that like you were right in that she plays like the friendly neighbor next door really well, but she also plays like the creepy, weird. She's a witch or something. You know what I mean? Like we saw in episode 7. So I don't know.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But we are 1 minute down, so we got 1 minute till we are going live, and we are going to take some questions. We're going to talk about our new look. And we just want to chat with everybody. So,
yeah.
But, as I said from day one, my goal with this thing was to have a place and a community of people to talk about movies with and to talk about TV shows and, stuff we like. And that was, that was my goal. That was what I wanted to do. So I'm going to go ahead. We are going to hop on. Let's get live here.
All right. We're going live. Let's get weird, guys.
Let's see.
And by the way, what movies did you watch this week?
I actually watched Return of the Living Dead, classic 80s movie. Hey, we're live. We are finally live. All right, let me see. I got to get you in here, Miguel.
Yep. All right, I see that you started it. Bear with us, guys. We were very new to this.
Yep, we are getting ready to go.
And you said you watched Night of the Living Dead?
I watched Return of the Living Dead,
Oh, okay. I
which is
gotcha.
basically the knockoff version
Oh,
of
really?
it. But it's really good. What, Miguel? What's your handle?
Uh, by the way, if you guys want to follow me, my ad is
Give me that handle.
Miguel underscore Ed underscore Miranda. And yes, Ed is my middle name. It's short.
You're not popping up.
I'm not popping up. Oh,
I
man.
don't know why.
Let me see.
Let's see. Hey, Jules. Hey, Anthony. You click on it. Do you see where I went live on the account?
I do. And let me see. What can I do? Oh, I'll request a join. Send a request. And
We are almost there, guys. Stick with us. Stick with us. Stick with us. It says waiting. And you're sideways.
we're good. I'm
Great
sorry.
job.
I can get this handled. Don't worry, guys.
Great job. You're sideways. Way to go.
Alrighty. Look at that. Fixing it up right now. Terrible setup that I have right now.
Alrighty. We are live. What's up, everybody?
Who we got going on right now?
We got Julia's here. We got Anthony's here. We're going to give everybody a few minutes to hop on here. We were just talking about what we watched this week. What did you guys watch this week? What did you guys watch?
That ring light, though.
That ring light.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miguel just picked up a brand new ring light.
I did. And not going to lie, that was a pretty nice deal. It was like $16. So I was like, bet. Also, I got to buy a couple more stuff, like obviously a microphone.
Yeah. What's up, Alex?
Hey, Alex, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, my wife said we went and saw Cinemark had their 35th anniversary Pretty in Pink showing. Mm-hmm. Here, turn your volume down because I'm hearing echo.
Ooh, okay. Let me do that real quick. For you.
I had to do that on mine. I turned the volume down so that we're not getting like double.
Alrighty.
But yeah, we went and saw Pretty in Pink for the 35th anniversary.
Hey, Lauren.
Special. Yeah, what's up, Lauren?
And where'd you go? Did you go see that at the one movie theater up there?
Yeah, we saw it at the Cinemark up there. It is. Let me tell you what. It is like the 5th time I've tagged Cinemark in one of our podcast posts, and they've like rejoined or reposted it.
Oh,
they've reposted on their story. So, and gotcha. I've like messaged with them a little bit. So Cinemark and I are getting kind of tight.
Or they're probably like, "Oh my God, this guy is a total simp for us. We gotta say something to him." By
Anthony
the way,
said watch most of the weather.
Yeah, this weather over here is not that good.
I told you guys last week, man. We live in Kentucky. A lot of our friends live in Kentucky, and we had some real crazy weather this last couple of weeks. It's been ice, snow, everything in between, rain that's turned. I mean, it's been wild. It's been a crazy couple of weeks for us here.
And let me tell you, my butt is sore because I fell on it probably like 6 or 7 times, like every other day.
Yeah,
it's rough.
All right, we got Anthony said watched all of How I Met Your Mother. I have not seen How I Met Your Mother.
Bro, let me tell you, How I Met Your Mother is a great show, and Hot Topic, it is way better than Friends. I know Anthony and his girlfriend Audra is gonna fucking kill me for that, but I stand right by it. How I Met Your Mother is way better than Friends.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah, like I started out watching it on FX. Like
Julia said false. She'll fight you on Friends, man.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take that battle. Trust me, guys.
She'll fight you.
Guys in YouTube, by the way, if you guys have a comment, which one do you like better, Friends or How I Met Your Mother? Let your opinions run free, because I promise you, I'll stand by you if you say How I Met Your Mother.
What's up, OG Cruz?
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Glad to see you. That's my cousin, by the way.
Anthony said The Weatherman is a movie. Oh,
Oh,
whoops. We got a movie podcast. We didn't know that was a movie.
my bad. Anthony, you're going to have to tell me about that. I'm just saying. I have no idea what
We'll
movie
have
that
to
is.
look that one up. So, all right, guys. If you've checked out our new look, it's real neon. If you haven't noticed,
Very neon.
the goal with this and kind of what we were talking about before we hopped on live was, when all that Marvel stuff dropped back in December, I was so excited to talk about it, and I called him and I wanted to talk about it. What up,
Yeah.
Payne? What's up, Odd?
Hey, Audra.
And I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to build a place, a community where we could talk about it, and where people could just, shoot it with each other and just enjoy, like you're going to see a movie with your friends, going to get beers, going to eat wings, and then going to watch a movie. And that was
Gotcha.
just that was what I wanted to do. That was the goal. So I kind of went to that 80s retro feel. Miguel's a Ted.
Okay. I'll take that. Yeah, probably.
So we went back to that 80s retro feel, and that's kind of what the new logo's about.
Yeah. And
So,
honestly, when Brad sent me that theme for the whole new look, I actually liked it. Cool 80s vibes, cool like 90s, 80s vibe. And I'm a big fan of the 80s generation of movies. I mean, every single one of them hold their own weight in some form or fashion. And I love them all. Like 80s is prime time for movies. And I have a shit ton of collections, which will be interesting because when we talk about our top 10 list, I mean, I got a couple over there that are from the 80s. So obviously you guys will know that I'm a big fan
yeah,
of it.
absolutely. What's up, Stormy? All right, what questions you guys got for us? Let's get this Q&A biz on the road.
Yeah. Ask whatever question you
Shoot
guys.
us, ask away. Fill up this chat with your questions.
By the way, guys, I don't know. I recently just tried this Coca-Cola coffee thing, and
That's weird.
I don't know yet if it's a hit or a miss. Like, I'm not going to lie.
It's weird. I don't know. Good to see you too, buddy.
Yeah, nice seeing you, buddy. It's been a while.
It has been a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite flavor of icy? I mean, you got to go with a Coke. Coke, just plain Coke icy. Nothing crazy, nothing weird. Just Coke icy.
I'm a big fan of the Mountain Dew one. Sorry. Mountain Dew Icy is my favorite. Mainly because I was a huge Mountain Dew fan whenever I was a little kid. I drank way too much of it.
That's fair.
Lauren asked top 3 favorite 80s movies.
Oh,
I'll let you go first.
holy crap. It's like my favorite decade. I don't even know how to pick that.
I probably Anthony, not gonna lie.
Lord, what do I even choose with that? I mean, you got to go with a John Hughes movie. I mean, The Breakfast Club is amazing. You got to go horror movies. God, I don't even know what horror movies I'd pick. I mean, you got to go with any of the Halloweens. I'm a Halloween guy. There's so many good choices with the 80s. Just like what we were just talking about. I mean, the 80s was such a diverse decade. You know what I mean?
Alrighty, throw three right there, because your top, whatever you think of in your top 3 is going to be it. So just name 3. You got it.
Breakfast Club, Halloween 2, and let's go Friday the 13th.
Friday 13th. Okay, I mess with that. My top 3 has to be the original Batman,
Yep.
Footloose, and if you guys know this one, I'll be surprised. When Harry Met Sally.
That's my parents' favorite movie.
It's a great movie.
See,
it's a
Lauren,
dope movie.
Lauren, that's a hard question because I could do like a top 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough one right there. But
all right, what other questions I got? Andrew, top 3 superheroes, non-Marvel. Non-Marvel immediately is going to be Batman. Let's see, Shazam, and let me think what else.
Really?
I got it. Yeah, Batman, Shazam, and non-Marvel. Dang, you really got me there. Hancock. That's non-Marvel. Hancock, one of my favorite non-Marvel superheroes.
I can do that. I gotta say Batman, Wonder Woman, Um, honestly, I'd probably say Hancock too. That was a pretty cool one. It was different.
Yeah.
It was like a different take on a superhero. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Favorite
You made
final girl ever, other than Jamie Lee Curtis?
Oh, so like in horror movies.
Yeah, favorite
Oh,
final. You
that's a
know how horror
question.
horror movies have a final girl. You got to have
Yeah,
the final girl. That's just the way it works. That's the
that's
formula.
true.
Probably Heather Langenkamp playing Nancy in A Nightmare on Elm Street because she didn't run away. She kind of faced it, and she
Hmm.
had a, which I mean, you're kind of getting that with the later Halloween movies and Jamie Lee Curtis, but even from the get go, Nancy didn't run away. She was like, "I'm gonna kill this guy," even though he's already dead. Yeah, Julia. We went and saw. Julia says Tina. We went and saw A Nightmare on Elm Street. It was the first time she'd ever seen it at the drive-in,
Mm.
and she thought it was hilarious because at the beginning of the movie, Freddy keeps going, Tina, like when she's dreaming and like it's starting to like you're like, what the hell is going on? But
Hmm.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Uh,
What else
I
we
saw
got?
another question. Audra said top 3 movie remakes. I would say mine, as of right now, is going to be the newest Godzilla. That's one of my favorite. King Kong, the eighth wonder of the world. The one before the MonsterVerse one, and also let me think. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Yep,
Those
that's one
two
of
are
mine.
great remakes.
I would say Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. King Kong from 2005, Peter Jackson's King Kong, is
Hmm.
my favorite remake of all time. There's nothing. I, I would even go as far as saying that movie somewhat surpasses the original one.
You think so?
I think that movie is that good.
I
And
think I agree with you.
I mean,
And
we're
the
talking our
reason
top 10
why.
movies. That's going to come up again. That movie.
Oh, okay. Cool. Like we've talked about this in one of our previous podcasts. Like that movie, King Kong, the eighth one in the world. Like it pretty much kept the whole character and essence of King Kong, and he just nailed it pretty
Yeah,
much.
absolutely. Honestly, I think my third one would be Batman Begins.
True. True.
The whole Dark Knight trilogy was such a different. It was such a different take on you know on the whole
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
thing with
I know
like
what you
adding
mean.
in the technology and it was just a different vibe. It was cool.
Yeah.
Anthony says, I got to ask, any thoughts on Fast 9? That's you, my guy. You
I
guys
have
are the
not seen it yet.
fast experts.
I'm sorry. I haven't seen it yet. And Anthony, trust me, whenever I see it, I will literally let you know and we'll talk all about it. Top cult films, Pulp Fiction. There you go. That's mine, without a
Mm.
doubt. That was one of my
Cult
favorite.
films like about cults, or
I don't think so. Yeah,
what do you mean?
Anthony, you might want to clarify. Payne, you might want to clarify that.
My horror movie brain goes to like Children of the Corn.
I think what he's talking
You
about.
know.
You know what a cult classic is, right?
Yeah.
It's like I think it's one of those.
Yeah.
You have to clarify that on me, Payne. And
Gotcha.
okay, the trailer. I've seen the trailer, and honestly, man, there's a funny joke I had right here about Fast 9 or the Fast and Furious franchise. Like they literally just think of anything, and they just make another movie. Like you notice, like ever since Fast 5 came out, they're like, yo, because I think Fast 5 was their first movie where they got like a high score on Rotten Tomatoes, and they're like, we got to make more. We got to make more and just keep shooting them out. Obviously, we're on a good run. Let's keep making them.
Yeah.
And then like now we're here at Fast 9. I don't even know how the rest of the movie scored at this point. Like now we got John Cena, and honestly, I'm interested to see how he does. And Anthony, I know you're gonna be hyped to see Han back because obviously the RX-7 was fucking dope. So we can talk about that too.
Yeah, Payne said Jules got me. So you're talking like cult classic movies. I gotta go. And Jules, don't hate me on this. Halloween 3, because here's the deal. Halloween 1 and 2, Michael Myers, everybody loved it. It was huge, big deal. Halloween 3, that was never John Carpenter's original intent. It was supposed to be a one-off, no sequels, and they were going to do an anthology series. Every Halloween movie would be a completely different story. and Halloween 3 came out, and it was a completely different story, and it bombed at the box office because everybody was expecting Michael Myers, and it wasn't. She says stupid movie. It's become a cult classic. People have realized that it's actually a good movie. You just have to remove Halloween from the title.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
but obviously mine is, like I said, Pulp Fiction, because it didn't really do well in the box office. But I mean, it's gathered such a huge crowd.
annoying.
I'm not gonna, annoying song goes here.
It's got this commercial that plays all through the movie, and it is annoying. The song's annoying.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out.
Somebody said, "What beer do I have?" Jules said that. I'm drinking Mad Tree Psychopathy.
Is that an IPA?
It is an India Pale Ale. Yep.
I'm gonna leave. No.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a hot top. Like I probably like one IPA. I forgot what it's called. Anthony and Audrey, you'll love to hear that. But there's one IPA that I do like. I just don't remember what it is. You guys got to help me find it.
It's very good.
Favorite Jurassic movie?
Oh, easy. You got to go with the first one. I think the first one is always going to be my favorite. I will say I like them all, and I was pleasantly surprised with how much I like Jurassic World 1 and 2. I was like, they're reviving it. It's gonna whatever. But I gotta say, I really enjoyed the take on Jurassic World, and I'm hype that they're bringing back Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum. What's her name? I'm blanking on her name.
I know you're talking about, but I totally forgot
but
too.
I mean, they're bringing the original cast back, so that's gonna be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But how about you?
It's not the most popular one. It was Jurassic Park 3. And the reason
I like
why
that one. I like it better than 2.
Yeah, because it was the first Jurassic Park movie that I saw.
Yeah. Hey Morgan, what's up?
How's it going, guys? And pretty much, I gotta rep those Cincy Northern Kentucky beers.
Next I have a Moreline Emancipator. That's what's next.
Dang, man, I really should have just got some beer. I regret that now.
All right.
I'm gonna be pretty sober today, guys. Sorry. In our last podcast, I had like probably about 2 or 3 before we started. So yeah, that was a little there. Let's just leave it at that.
All right, we will go. Yes, 3
Anthony.
is the one with the Spinosaurus.
Yeah, because like that, like honest to God, they totally fucked up the accuracy of the Spinosaurus Rex. Like the Spinosaurus Rex is not supposed to be that big. I'm just saying. Yeah. And it's also more of an aquatic animal. And just putting that up against the T-Rex, I was a T-Rex fan, but as soon as I saw him get clapped by the Spinosaurus, I was like, I'm team Spinosaurus now.
Well, you got to admit the comeback in Jurassic World of the T-Rex fighting that Velociraptor T-Rex. What was it called?
Oh, in the new one?
Yeah, in Jurassic World, that was the best comeback scene of all time. Let's just say it.
Yeah, it was.
Let's just be straight out.
And the first Jurassic World, whenever it's against the Indominus Rex and the Raptors. Are you talking about that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, dude! I swear, I started clapping. That was like one of the only times I started clapping for sure. Because basically, like, it was like pure doom, and all of a sudden, it was like, see him just run over like this, like, guess what, bitch, I'm back. And I'm like, yes, please, smoke this guy. Obviously, he didn't, but it was funny.
Favorite chick flick? Oh.
Let me think. Mine is gonna have to be recent is gonna be what's it called? Ghost of Girlfriend's Past. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's a chick flick. Plus Matthew McConaughey's in it, and I just fucking love him. He's a great guy.
Lauren agrees that was a good question.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say The Devil Wears Prada.
Okay.
I remember I actually went and saw that in the movie theater when we lived in West Palm Beach. We went up to Daytona. They had a huge, think of the biggest movie theater you've ever been to. This is 10 times bigger. Of course, South Florida. That's, duh.
Yeah.
But, it probably had, 20, 30 theater. It was huge. But we went and saw The Devil Wears Prada when it came out.
Yeah. Brad, by the way, I think your live is only showing your torso.
Is it?
I'm not mistaken.
It's all right. It's enough.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But Meryl Streep is mean. She was, but it's a good movie.
Guys, what was
It
that?
is.
What was that movie? I know this is really old movie. Not old, but like Meryl Streep is in it. And it's about like Meryl Streep dies and she comes back to life. Do you know what I'm talking about? You guys got to help me out here cuz that's a legitimate movie.
Beer one is down. I just want to make that
Like
known.
honestly, like guys, help me out here because that's a movie that I kind of saw it and it just really freaked me out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a Meryl Streep movie where like she dies but comes back to life as a ghost.
Oh, Death Becomes Her.
That, oh my
That
god.
is fantastic. Have any of you all seen Death Becomes Her? It's like it's an 80s like fun horror movie type deal where they kind of come back as zombies.
I
Sort
mean
of,
like
but not really.
sort of kind of. Yeah, but when I
That's a
saw that
great movie.
it was really weird. And like I not the fact that cuz you know, when I knew Meryl Streep was like, you know, one of those like top-notch like drama-ish kind of actors. And then when I saw that movie, I was like, this is a different take of her. But it's an earlier version. It's one of her earlier movies. So I was
Absolutely.
like, this is refreshing as hell.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go for about 5-6 more minutes here. What else you got?
Any other burning questions you guys want to ask? Death Becomes Her. Yes, Lauren. Yeah, exactly.
It's a good movie. I actually that would be a good one to have on DVD.
Mm-hmm.
So I have an ongoing horror movie collection going on right now, and I have my other Blu-rays somewhere else. But I collect like physical copy. I'm not a digital copy guy. I know everything's moving to that where you have like a digital code that you can, but I don't know. I like having a physical copy. Favorite John Williams score? You know the key to my heart. Favorite John Williams score? Harry Potter's good. Jurassic Park is good. I think I got to go Jurassic Park.
I'm gonna have to go with Harry Potter.
I'm surprised you didn't say Star Wars just now. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Star Wars is like it's literally Star Wars and Harry Potter because like they're both have like such great music and it's really hard for me to like decipher one. But overall, like I like Star Wars the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
But I liked Harry Potter's soundtrack score from John Williams. Which, by the way, I saw this joke. It was pretty much saying J.K. Rowling didn't write Harry Potter. She basically wrote Star Wars, except with wands. I was like, and then when he explained it, I was like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, guys.
Anthony said Pirates. What you mean, John Williams score? Because Hans Zimmer did Pirates of the Caribbean.
Jaws? Yeah, Jaws is a good
too,
one.
Man.
It's such a classic. Or how can I say this? You know immediately that's a John Williams score. Like you can tell a Jaws score. Like if you hear it, you know, Jaws.
Well, and that's become so like synonymous with shark that like you hear that like my kids hear that in my classroom. Like I do it as a joke sometimes, like when we're lining up or like we're killing time, and I'm just I don't know, just
what you act like a shark to your kids?
No, playing it on the piano, like, playing it on the piano, like just something fun to make them laugh. And,
I gotcha.
Like they know, like oh that's the shark, even though let's be real, they've never seen Jaws. Even though technically, you know, Jaws is technically PG.
I could have sworn it was R-rated, wasn't it?
Nope. When that came out in the 70s, it was PG. I don't know how, because there's titties and people die. I mean, like I don't know how, but it is.
Well, let's just say we got softer as a generation. I don't know. Them
Anthony,
boomers are crazy.
Anthony, I will agree that Pirates is an amazing score. But yeah, Hans Zimmer wrote that, and then I believe James Newton Howard did the rest of it.
The shark does parkour on the boat. He jumps out. Parkour!
Parkour!
I love that.
And then he eats Quint.
Pretty much, yeah. Also, like, I don't know, like...
That's another one of my behind the scenes that we got.
Oh, yeah, that poster?
Psycho over here. We got Jaws. We got Freddy versus Jason. But...
Also, guys, like, I also added some more posters. All of these, like, this is only a few from, like, my office. When we started this podcast, like, I was first at my office in the shop where I work, and then I moved to my office in my house, and like my office is now like filled with all of my stuff. Yeah, crack that boy open. But I guess we ran into some like electrical stuff, so now I'm in my room. So as soon as I get my office fixed, I'll be in there more often, so it should be good.
Sweet deal.
If you like Meryl Streep and Death Becomes Her, you should watch She Devil. She Devil. I've not heard of that.
I've never seen She Devil. Never heard of that before. This is dark. Look at the color on this. This is dark.
When I think of
Super dark.
Audrey, when you said She Devil, I'm not gonna lie. I started thinking of Bedazzled. Do you know what that is? Brad.
What?
Do you know you're over here worrying about your beer?
This flavor just caught me off guard. I was not expecting that.
Uh-huh.
Payne, if you're still in the chat, have you ever had Moreline Emancipator? Oh, it tastes like coffee and blood. That's weird. But
Oh, that's cool because I'm drinking coffee too, basically. Anthony, I know you didn't you said this is probably a miss, but it's basically Coke. Like it's carbonated. It has coffee and also like I got the one that has vanilla. It's still an interesting taste and I'm still drinking it. If I didn't like it, I would have thrown it away. Hey Hannah, welcome.
Hey Hannah, what's up? Here's the can. I don't know if you can see that. I know you're a Cincy guy, so
See, that's got too many words and too many pictures, too many designs. It's a little too much for me, man. I'm a
it's
simple
a
guy.
lot. This is a lot.
I'm a very simple guy. If you give me a Budweiser, crack that boy open, and I'm down for the night.
Gotcha. But all right, any last questions before we hit it and we keep going with episode 10, which will release on Monday.
Yep. We
release on Monday.
We pretty much film every Friday night, and then we drop it on Monday.
We do. If you're ever wondering how we film our episodes, we film them on Friday night usually, and then we drop them on Monday. So
yeah.
All right, if that's gonna do it, guys, be sure, please, if you don't follow us here, follow us on our account. We Talk the Movies. We're constantly posting new stuff, new videos, new content. If you are on YouTube and you like to watch the video version of this podcast, give us a subscribe. I don't say that very often because, again, I want to build the community. That's the goal of this whole thing. We just keep interacting with us on YouTube. Share us from Spotify. We are on multiple podcast platforms now. Spodcast. I don't know what Spodcast.
You're losing your train of thought after one beer. My God, my guy.
We're on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcast. Yeah, Julia, I can't stand it when YouTubers are like, smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. You will never hear me ask you to smash a subscribe button. I will never say that because I can't do it. But we just want to thank you guys. If you're somebody who has followed us from day one and who's been taking the time out of your week to hang with us, thank you so much. And we appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it very much, man. And I'm glad you guys are keeping tabs on us. And hopefully we can go for another 10. And hopefully we can go for even more. So, again, thank you guys for supporting us. And I guess we'll see you on Monday when this drops.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon, all right?
Peace, guys.
All righty. All righty.
Okay.
All right. Let's get this going real quick. All righty. So we are going to hit up some movie news now. Thank you to everybody who participated in our live Q&A, by the way. That was awesome.
Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. Love you guys to death. All of you are great supporters. And we're going to keep making more contents. And I hope you like some good comedy fun because we're going to be making them too.
Absolutely. I'm not kidding you. This beer, it's very weird. I don't know if I really like it. I'm going to finish it because I'm determined, but I don't know if I like it.
If you don't finish that beer, that's highly disrespectful. Never leave a beer unfinished. That's my motto.
It's weird. All right, so we got a little bit of movie news. Actually, we have a lot of movie news. Some pretty cool shit dropped the last few days. So Predator 5, all the Predator films. We have a 5th Predator film coming.
Really?
It was announced back in November. I missed that announcement. For some reason, I don't know. Dan Trachtenberg. I don't know how you say his name. He's heading the project. He directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was the sequel to Cloverfield. Do you remember it was that weird monster movie from late 2000s, I think, is when Cloverfield came out, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
And Cloverfield Lane, is that the one with what's his name? John Goodman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When they're like
That
trapped
was
in a
its
cellar.
sequel. Yep.
Okay.
But Predator 5 will supposedly follow Key, a Comanche, I believe that's how you say it, woman, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, who goes outside of the established gender norms to fight for her tribe, presumably, against a predator. Through her fight, Key will attempt to prove that she is a capable leader of the tribe despite her gender. That comes from Cinema Blend. Interesting. I think it's interesting that they're taking Predator movies and setting them in different time periods. I think that's pretty cool.
This is going to be during, I guess, a tribal, like during the era of
like
Native Americans.
I'm thinking Native American. That's from that description. That's what I get.
I got you.
So forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. I think that's pretty cool.
And also, like, I've watched the Predator franchise a couple of times, and I'm a fan of it too. I just didn't know they were making out a fifth one. It'll be interesting to see because this is gonna predate all the other movies, and their tech that they have is pretty futuristic. So I'm interested to see how they were back then. I don't know if they're gonna be even more like ancient within their ways of hunting.
Right.
So it'll be really interesting to see how they progress into the Predators that they were in the first Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then all the way up to the newest one, where they literally have a suit, I guess.
Predators.
And that was
because I believe Alien versus Predator is the most modern, right? If I'm not mistaken.
No.
Or no, Predators is.
Predators is,
yeah.
So that's the most modern, and that one it went way outfield. It basically like talked about the evolution of the Predator. Like there's different species now, and they're like colliding with one another. It's chaotic, and I vibe with it. And I'm not gonna lie. How can I put this correctly? I actually think the Predator franchise is a little bit not by a whole lot, a little bit better than Alien franchise, mainly because the Alien
I've
franchise.
Always thought that.
You think so too?
I like Alien. I think the first Alien film is great. Sigourney Weaver is fantastic. I mean, it obviously now the graphics don't look, but whatever. That's a different conversation. It was the 80s, or 70s. I'm not sure when that movie came out. But just me personally, I've always kind of sided with Predator a little bit more. I think he's a cooler alien. So
pretty much, yeah. And also, like, I don't know, they're like a formula for the Aliens franchise. Like, it's a good formula, but I don't know, it just kind of hits and miss. Like, whenever they're like, I didn't know Prometheus was going to be a sequel to Aliens. That was a surprise to me. And then they started making a franchise out of that too. So it was interesting to see how it was working.
Yeah, like Alien Covenant, stuff like
pretty
that.
Much, yeah.
Yeah.
And those are good movies too. They didn't really bring back the Xenomorphs. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, like they were kind of hinting at the previous. They were more interested in Michael Fassbender's character, which was great too. But when I want to go see like those types of movies, like I want to see like what they're famous for.
The Xenomorphs.
Yeah, exactly. So when the Predator movies came out, I mean, heck, there's a Predator and they're trying to beat them.
Yeah.
So that's why I preferred them.
Did you ever play the PS3 Aliens versus Predator game?
I played it on my PSP. You remember those?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on. So if you grew up in our time period, we're 90s babies, grew up in late 90s, early 2000s. You were probably a Jackass fan. I'm just going to say that. I think there's something about being a teenage boy. You like Jackass, and you can't help it. I loved watching that show. I remember when I found out I remember thinking, the hell is Jackass? I don't know what that is. And when I figured out what it was and I started watching it, I binged it. Like, I would rewatch them constantly. And I don't even really know why. I think it was just something stupid to have on in the background.
Yeah, fair.
But, Jackass 4, they announced it was filming. Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O got injured at the beginning. Well,
And typical Jackass fashion, yes.
in typical Jackass fashion, absolutely. And about a week and a half ago, Bam Margera had posted a video on his Instagram that's been taken down now, where he, he's talking about his struggles with Jackass 4, and he's obviously, I think he's struggling a little bit with some substance abuse issues. I like Bam Margera, I always have, and I want him to get better. I almost think Bam needs to forget about Jackass right now and help himself. Get help. You know what I mean? Get the help he needs. I know Steve-O got help. Steve-O, he was in real bad shape for a long time. And I mean, look what these guys have done. You know what I mean? I mean, their bodies are beat the hell up,
I mean, yeah, you saw how Steve-O literally said, like, he lost his voice because he puked so many times.
Yeah, and Steve-O's great now. I mean, he's clean, he's sober, he's vegan, and he helps other addicts get help. So I'm not here to bash Bam at all. I'm actually here to do the opposite. I really like Bam. He was one of my favorite parts of that whole series, and I say this because I hope he gets help. And I bring this up because I just hope that anybody who's struggling with substance abuse gets help. Because Absolutely. I think he deserves that,
And he's going, I mean, I feel for Bam, like I really do. And I relate to his struggles, and internally and stuff. People go through stuff, and you can't belittle it. I mean, whatever people go through is what they go through, and they have every right to feel what they got to feel.
Right.
But it's also key to, seek help when you need to. Absolutely. Yeah. And I hope he does that. I hope if he's able to work through it, he's going to come out a better man, and he'll be able to tell his stories and his struggles, and then he'll be an inspiration towards a lot of people that are going through the same stuff. So
absolutely, man.
I'll always pray for Bam Margera, and I hope he gets better, and I hope he's able to reconcile all of the drama and weird awkwardness with the Jackass crew, and hopefully we'll see him in another Jackass movie. That's all I gotta say.
Definitely. I'm pretty hyped for Jackass 4.
But really, yeah, I am too.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So we have Assembled, which is a new Marvel documentary series coming out on Disney Plus, about the behind the scenes of their films and their TV shows. So I think the first little bit is going to be about WandaVision. It's going to be all behind the scenes stuff of WandaVision, which I think is cool. Just same kind of thing as what Marvel Legends is, just like a different. Honestly, it's a way for them to make more money to say, hey, buy Disney Plus. I think that's part of what it is. But it's Pretty also much. Cool to see the behind the scenes stuff too. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Any more Marvel content, I'm not going to complain.
Well, I mean, this is a cultural phenomenon if you think about it. Like the
it
whole
really
MCU, like they're going to talk about this through history. Like 50 years down the line, like this is going to be in cinema history.
Absolutely.
About how the MCU was able to create this entire universe. And knowing that they're coming out with those, it's going to be so interesting to see, because I mean, it's like when you see, it's like, those movies where they talk about the decades. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. Yeah. Like those movies and those documentaries where they talk about what everything that happened during that time. Like it'll be in one of them. It'll be in the 2010s whenever that comes out.
Absolutely.
Because it made such a big impact on us.
Well, and I would almost even be willing to say, if you look at movie and film history, I mean, you have silent films. You had talkies where it was a huge deal that there was sound in movies, because that had never been done before. Look at The Jazz Singer. The Jazz Singer was the first movie in history where someone was actually talking on camera, and what you were watching was lining up with what they were saying. And I think there's different eras in film history, and I think the MCU is going to get credited with this universe type thing, because you had sequels. I mean, look at the 80s horror craze. I mean, you had 9 Halloween films, and you had, you know, however many horror franchises. But this is different. This is a universe. This is
Yes.
multiple characters and multiple storylines that are interweaving and like working together to tell a larger story. And it would not surprise me if this is like another chapter in that pieces of movie history tale, you know?
I I agree with you to a certain extent because now there's so many people trying to do like universes in their own way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
And
every
that's
single
the
movie like has to be connected now, and that's kind of tough to do if you don't do it right. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and that's exactly my point though, is that I think Marvel is the thing that got that ball rolling.
They did.
People saw the MCU and how successful it was, and they were like, well, damn, I got to make a universe out of it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
pretty
I think
much.
that was just something that kind of got the ball rolling. Um, Next, we got D-Box.
D-Box.
D-Box. Have you seen about D-Box yet?
No. That sounds like a toy I
So,
played when I was like 9.
so if we're checking out D-Box, Cinemark posted this on their page a while ago. Um, D-Box, and I quote, will change the way you watch movies. It is changing the way that people watch movies by moving the body and sparking the imagination through motion. With D-Box, you control the intensity so you can move with the movie and feel every scene as if you were in it. We remove the line between you and the screen to create hyper-realistic, immersive, one-of-a-kind entertainment experiences that pull you into the story like never before.
I don't like that.
So basically, you're going to be sitting in one of them fancy reclining seats in Cinemark, and
Mhm.
it's going to be vibrating in like surround sound in the seat. It's going to be like a gamer chair, basically, that vibrates and moves. So when there's an explosion in the movie, you're feeling it vibrate.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest.
I don't know.
Because I don't know, you've been to Disney, I'm sure, and you've been
Yes.
to Disney World. So like you remember the Lilo and Stitch the Great Escape one?
Yeah, it was weird.
It was weird.
It
Yeah,
was very
exactly.
weird.
I didn't really vibe with that back then. So like seeing that, like it would be really interesting to see how they. I mean, obviously, guys, I would try it. That's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Understand? You know, movie tickets already are like $20.
Right.
That bitch right there is going to be about a good 40 or 50. Just going to lay it right there.
Yep.
And I'll spend the 50 to try it once. And honestly, like either I'm almost 40% not going to like it.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would try it, I guess, if it's the right movie. I mean, if you're watching a chick flick, I don't think it's going to matter. But I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
exactly.
watching Transformers or if you're watching Endgame, you know what I mean? Then, of course. So, I don't know.
Hey, man, I'm just saying, too, like some movies, they got some, here's a thought.
Please
Imagine if
don't
that
say
was a
what I
thing.
think you're about to say.
Imagine seeing that. Imagine having that and another sequel of 50 Shades of Grey came out.
I don't know if I want to think about that.
That's gonna be a little weird.
That would make me too. I think I would have to get up and leave. Like I'd feel too uncomfortable.
Like you're gonna feel this. Like it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like your chair is gonna move up and down, and we're just gonna be like, I'm gonna be very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be like, I'm just gonna say, like, it's gonna be really weird. But...
And moving on. Next, this came from Screen Rant. There's not a whole lot of news about it, but I just think it's cool as hell. Batman 1989 with Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
DC Comics is adapting that version of Batman since we never really got to see the continuation of that past the Michael Keaton films.
Yeah.
They're continuing Batman 89 in a comic book series. So we will get to see Michael Keaton's version of Batman and new stories in a comic book. Basically.
Okay.
I think that's pretty cool. I think that's dope.
I think it would be pretty interesting to see Tim Burton-ish comic book. You know what I mean?
Well, and that was another, something that Tim Burton does really well, and dare I say he's one of the best at it, is world building. You know, we talked about that with Justice League last week. You know, Tim Burton has a very specific style, and all of his movies have a very similar look and feel to them. and
Mhm.
he has a very unique way of building worlds up. I mean, look at his Gotham City.
Yeah, exactly.
It was very different, very gothic, um, very dark, cold. It was snowing. I don't know. I think that it'll be cool to get to kind of revisit, his character. So
Catch your breath, buddy. Catch
I
your
know.
breath.
I know. This beard's getting me. It's weird as hell.
What
It's
else
almost
we got?
red. It looks like wine. It's like red. You can't
Yeah, I
really
probably wouldn't like that.
you can't really see it in the video. It's weird.
Mm-mm. No, not my type.
All right, couple more here. We have a new Star Wars trilogy on the way.
Ooh.
Now, Ryan Johnson, um, he directed The Last Jedi, um, which was obviously the middle of this new trilogy.
And it wasn't the best.
And it was not
So,
the best, but he confirmed in an interview recently for IGN that his Star Wars trilogy is in the works and is still being made. According to IGN, there are no dates for the timelines. There's no real information about what the trilogy is going to be about, other than it's just going to explore other aspects of the Star Wars universe. So I don't know. I think my guess with this, because we just had the Rise of Skywalker and that trilogy kind of concluded, and that was kind of the conclusion of like the main Star Wars story of what we know.
yeah.
My guess would be that they're going to a place that they've never been to before, and kind of similar to the Mandalorian, it's going to be something different.
It's just I just Star Wars has to understand that trilogies don't really work anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
They
obviously I'll
don't.
bring up,
If you don't do them well, they don't.
it's just that Star Wars is such a huge universe. Like, honestly, it's a lot bigger than the MCU. Like, without a doubt. Like,
It is.
people can agree with me on that.
Right now, it is.
Yeah,
I
obviously.
think if they screw up this next trilogy, and if these 10 Star Wars shows that Disney has announced for Disney Plus bomb, and they're not that great, I think Marvel will surpass Star Wars.
Probably, but they need to come up with a different formula. They need to stay away from this trilogy series, because honestly, it's too small of a time frame to create the story that you want. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they shown that with Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the anime series. By God, that's probably one of the best things Lucasfilms has done for the Star Wars franchise, because it built it basically expanded the entire universe, other than the books, because the books helped too, but then that got retconned. So it's like, that doesn't even matter anymore. So the Clone Wars is what built the entire universe. But then now that when the new trilogy came out, it just wasn't enough time to build it further. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that's where they failed. And I know a couple of my friends may or may not agree with me on that, but I think they just need to stay away from. I need to move on from this trilogy-based series and just build the universe with a plethora of movies. Do anthologies, or just do different side stories, and just build the universe the way, honestly, it should be, because Star Wars is huge. It's humongous.
Yeah.
There's so many stories you can go with, and I could talk for whole hours about what stories they can come up with.
Absolutely.
But all I gotta say is that they gotta stay away from the trilogy, because obviously it doesn't work for our time anymore.
Yeah.
And I blame that to the MCU.
Do you think they should just do standalone movies?
No, like, I think yeah, standalone movies are dope, and because obviously Rogue One is one of their top newest movies.
Hey, I gotta say, I was not a Star Wars guy. When I was little, I tried. I don't know. There was something about it. I couldn't get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I must say, I went and saw Rogue One in the movie theater. It was the first Star Wars film that I ever actually just sat down and watched all the way through. And I loved it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite Star Wars movie. And I don't know. Die-hard Star Wars people would probably be like, You're disgusting.
No,
But
like they will
Rogue
agree with you.
One is my and I've seen them all now. I've seen every single one, including the prequels, except for the Rise of Skywalker. I still haven't seen it. But Rogue One is my favorite out of all of them.
And
I
it's
loved it.
it's in my top 3 or top 5 now at this point, because it's such a good story, and it's so not necessarily original, but it talks about a story that we wanted to know.
Right.
And
Yeah.
there's, again, so many stories that we want to know. Like, we know about them. We know about this situation that happened. We want to know more. And
Yeah.
it's the same way with The Bad Batch. A lot of people, when the new Star Wars, The Clone Wars came out, the new series came out to finish it, and we saw The Bad Batch, we all loved it. And guess what? They're coming up with a new series because we want to know more about their story.
Yeah.
And they just got to keep building with stuff that we want to see. I mean, the whole focusing on one Jedi and journeying through the galaxy, like, that's like, don't get me wrong, I love that, but you got to build it a lot more further than a trilogy, because that's
Yeah.
not going to work anymore, because it's too short of a time frame and you rush it too much. Because from The Force Awakens to The Rise of Skywalker, that felt so rushed.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness, I'd much rather have seen more of Kylo Ren being Kylo Ren. I would much rather see him stay with the dark side and see him, go after the rebels. So like they just played it too fast, and it just didn't hit a lot of people the way it was supposed to. So
Yeah.
that's my take on it, guys.
I think my fear with it, I'm fine with building the Star Wars universe more. I think that's fine.
Mhm.
And Jon Favreau proved that you can do that with The Mandalorian.
Yep.
I think my problem is if they do another trilogy just to do another trilogy. I think if
I
you
know.
have just like with Rogue One, people wanted to know that story. They wanted to know that backstory. If if this new trilogy is something that nobody gives a shit about, then why are you doing it? You know what I mean? And I guess, yes, you could argue, well, you can make people care. You can tell new stories.
Mhm.
Yes. But if it doesn't fit in with the continuity of what you've already told, then there's no point. It's pointless, because people aren't going to be emotionally invested in it the way that they are. And even people get pissed about The Last Jedi, but they get pissed about The Last Jedi because they're already invested in that storyline.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what
And
I mean?
also, the original, the original Star Wars, whenever they announced The Force Awakens, they were expecting, a lot of us were expecting, the return of Luke Skywalker, Leia, Han Solo, all to come together. And guess what? We didn't fucking get that.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it,
No, we didn't.
Luke and Han never met up in the new trilogy, and Luke and Leia met up, like, in The Last Jedi, and it was for a brief moment. Like, by golly, they ripped those characters into shreds, and that still pisses me off to this day. I'm not gonna lie, but I think the way they can save themselves is, some people say retconning the new trilogy, and honestly, I don't think they should.
I mean, I don't either.
What's done is done. Okay. The way I think they can save themselves is by steering away from this trilogy, not forcing a story in 3 movies, and just build a universe and in a good pace where people start becoming more and more invested with it. Because the only thing they were counting on with this new trilogy was the fan base sticking with it, because there's still a clear fan base that loved the Star Wars. And I'm not gonna lie, they probably killed a lot. They probably killed, like, I don't know, 30% of the fan base with that new trilogy. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, probably.
But let's stay away from. We're gonna have a whole episode on that, guys. Just let you know.
We digress.
So, yeah.
All right, to wrap us up a little bit here before we get into our top 10 movies, we got a little bit of Halloween Kills news, which I know you're not completely caught up. It's coming. I'm gonna get you caught up. I know we want to talk I'm gonna get him to watch both of Rob Zombie's Halloween films first.
Yep.
Which you've seen the first one, right? A
Is
while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
But
Movie's
I
8.
I want to get you caught up on this new timeline. So John Carpenter, who wrote and directed the original Halloween film, he did an interview with NME, and they were talking Halloween Kills. And they asked him, speaking of the new movie, how far along is Halloween Kills? And he said, it's done. We're just waiting on the world to be a little bit more sane and a little bit safer before we release it. So obviously we know they're waiting for movie theaters to be back in full swing. He also said that it's the ultimate slasher movie. It's Halloween on steroids. Back when they test screened it, audiences said it was Halloween 2 on acid, which is the craziest shit you could possibly say about a Halloween movie, but it's awesome.
Exactly.
And he expressed that it's very gory, which is kind of a step back from Halloween, because Halloween has always been a little bit more about suspense and what you don't see.
Yeah.
Lots of off-screen kills, lots of how do I put it? It's more in your mind of like the stuff you don't see is what makes it scary. But I think this Halloween film could end up being my favorite in the franchise.
We'll
really
have
do.
to see with that.
And you will understand what I mean when you watch. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to show you. I could show you the whole franchise. We're going to watch the original one, and then we're going to watch 2018 because that's the current timeline that we're talking about.
All right.
Okay. But to kind of fill you in, basically, Halloween had a ton of sequels in the 80s and 90s. They retconned it. Rob Zombie did his 2 remakes. Then they sucked ballsack, which I shouldn't say that. The first one was good. The second one, the first 30 minutes was incredible. And then she woke up and it was a dream sequence.
That's
And the rest of the movie was god-awful. But they decided to only make the first one canon and then do a new trilogy. Again, we're talking about trilogies here. Do a new trilogy based on the original film. So basically, the only canon Halloween movies are going to be Halloween 1, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, which we're supposed to get this year, and then Halloween Ends, which will, please God, come out next year. They haven't filmed it yet because COVID screwed everything up.
Yeah.
But, basically, he also said they have the script done for Halloween Ends. They just have to wait for COVID to go away so that they can make it. And, the interesting thing that came out of this interview was they asked him, what's your opinion on big studios like Warner Brothers releasing all of their big budget movies on streaming platforms due to COVID shutting down the cinemas? And John Carpenter had this to say: these guys are making decisions that they consider in their best interest. This is why they see the future is going to be, this is what they see the future is going to be like. And so to get these things out, they think this is the best way to do it. And they went on to ask him, do you think Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends could end up being on streaming? And he said, sure, Halloween may be shared that way because theaters are dead right now. It's just the reality. And that's a tragedy, but it's true, and we have to face it. My big question, I don't think it's an if Halloween Kills is going to go to streaming. I think it's going to go to streaming. Now, it'll have a theatrical release too, and I am going to see that movie in the theater. Godzilla vs. Kong and Halloween Kills, I will fight somebody to go see it in a movie theater. Like, those are the 2 movies that I'm going to a theater.
Yeah, I got
you. Not really. If I have to watch it streaming, I will. But my big question is, Blumhouse owns Halloween. I believe it's distributed by Universal. What streaming service would they release Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends on?
With Warner Bros?
They're not with Warner Brothers. They're with Universal, which Universal owns Warner Brothers. So I guess Warner Brothers could finagle it in to be released on HBO Max. I don't know.
Almost certain it might be on HBO Max because honestly, that's the top
Yeah.
streaming service out there
Well,
right now in regards to movies,
yeah.
like new release movies. Like HBO Max is paving the way for, or is like leading the charge in having new release movies on the stream.
Yeah.
Netflix is trying, but they haven't got it. As you can see, they lost the bidding war with Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
I think that's kind of what HBO Max is going to become known for, is for having movies that are in the theater also on there.
yep.
You know, I think it's going to be less for their content. I mean, yeah, like the Last of Us TV show is going to be on there, and they'll have stuff like that, but I think they're going to be known for that. So that would be my guess. I guess they could do it on Shudder, but my thing with Shudder is, Shudder is only horror movies. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you're going to get horror fans, but Halloween, I think, is a big enough franchise where people who are not diehard horror people like I am,
They're like, yeah, like they're
people are
gonna
going to
want
want to
to
go see it. And especially because, I mean, Halloween 2018 made $250 million at the box office.
it.
It had the
Okay.
it had the highest, I believe, it had the highest opening weekend for a horror movie of all time, or the second highest opening,
Okay.
because it's a property that everybody knows and loves, and they want to go see it. So
Mm-hmm.
my only thing about releasing it on Shudder is I don't think they would do it because they know they're not going to get the people that they would
Mm.
on HBO Max. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I digress. So all right, let's hop in. We got about 30 minutes left here on our show, so hang with us. We are going to do our top 10 movies of all time. Now, let me preface this. I'm going to preface this by saying, at least for me, I'm not going to speak for you, but for me, any one of these movies could flip which spot they're listed in if you ask me tomorrow or the next day or the next day,
Yeah.
you know? So, should we hop right in, my dude?
Yeah, I'm ready for my list. So you should go first. So basically what we're gonna do right now is we'll talk about our top 10 list from first 10 to 6, and then we'll go from 5 to 1 pretty much.
Yep.
So that way we can speed through it, but still have a good conversation with it.
Absolutely. So, my number 10 was Jaws.
Okay.
My number 9 was Jurassic Park.
Okay.
My number 8 was Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Mm.
Number 7 was The Dark Knight.
Okay.
And number 6 was Spider-Man 2002. Now, here's the thing with my list. My bottom half of the list is mainly, they are movies that really hit me as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would watch Jaws from behind my parents' couch. As a kid living in Florida who went to the beach at least 2 or 3 times a week, Jaws was fucking terrifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I
I
know what you
loved
mean.
it. And it's the horror person in me. Even when I was little, I couldn't get enough of it. I wanted to watch it. I couldn't look away, but I would watch it from like peek behind the couch. Jurassic Park, classic. I mean, it doesn't get any more classic than Jurassic Park. I always love that movie. I mean, if it's on TV, I'll put it on. You know, it's one of the most rewatchable movies of all time for me.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates of the Caribbean, I've always been a huge fan of that series. I didn't like what they did with 4 and 5. That original trilogy is immaculate. I mean, I would say that original trilogy is a masterpiece in the same way that Peter Jackson's King Kong is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
think
totally
it's
agree.
fantastic. I think Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow and what he brought to that role was incredible.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty much what I mean. Johnny Depp did carry that franchise.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I think later on, especially, he carried it because the
Mhm.
other characters, I was like, whatever. But I mean, even Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley, Jeffrey, what's his name?
I don't
Barbosa.
remember.
I don't remember what his name is. I'm drawing a blank with the actor. But that whole cast was good. I mean, every character, I liked the character, even if they were a villain. And then you brought in Davy Jones, and I mean, it was a perfect trilogy. It was really, really good.
Yep.
And that was always something that, you know, really got me as a kid. I was always a huge Pirates fan. And then getting into two superhero movies, the Dark Knight trilogy. I would put the Dark Knight in the top 3 best superhero movies of all time, or top 5 at least.
Gotcha.
I think the Dark Knight is another one. It's a masterpiece of a movie. I remember leading up to the Dark Knight, I was so hyped that Heath Ledger was playing the Joker, because we had seen the little bits and pieces, and you have to admit what Heath Ledger brought to that role was amazing.
Yeah, he put a more darker, grittier version of the Joker that none of us have seen. I mean, in the comics, yeah, we've seen, but in the cinema, because obviously the previous one was Jack Nicholson, and I forgot what his name was in the very old Batman.
Caesar something. I don't remember.
Caesar something. Yeah, like they all had their something that
Romero,
they can be
maybe?
remembered. Yeah,
Yeah.
they all had something that they were remembered by, and but when Heath Ledger came out, my golly, it changed the scope of what the Joker was.
I think what I loved about Heath Ledger's performance is, you know, Jack Nicholson, as great as he was as the Joker, had a more gangster quality to him.
Yeah.
Jared Leto was more of just weird, like he was just a weird person. Heath Ledger played him like a true psychopath.
Yes.
Like an unhinged, there was something really wrong about him. Like he didn't care. And I think my favorite line from The Dark Knight is when, you know, Bruce is really defeated and he's like, I don't know what to do. You know, the Joker's killing people. He's releasing the videos where he's like doing the crazy laugh and stuff. And Alfred says to Bruce Wayne, you know,
he tells the story, yeah.
He tells the story, and he's like, you know, some men don't want anything material like power or sex or money. Some men truly just want to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
And that's like, that line, it gives me chills when I will hear that, because it embodies what Heath Ledger's Joker was. He didn't want anything. He didn't want money. Like when he throws the cigar and he burns the pile of money. He didn't care about women. He didn't care about money. He didn't care about ripping anybody off. It was just about chaos and anarchy.
Absolutely.
And that's the true mark of a psycho. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And remember when we talked about like what makes a good like villain?
A good villain, yeah.
Yeah. No, here's my take. It's the fact that he doesn't really do that. Like, because like when you talk about a good movie villain, I guess someone you can relate to, Joker doesn't relate to freaking anybody.
No.
Like he's such an outlier of the greatest of what makes a good villain.
Yep.
Because I mean, he is just absolute chaos. There's no like, you don't know what his reasoning is for wanting to do it. He just does it because he thinks this is just something that he likes. Like this is like, I can't explain what Heath Ledger's Joker's intentions were other than to just cause mayhem.
Yep. Well, and even if you look at, you know, we had talked about like Thanos and Darth Vader, where you get their backstory, you get why they're doing it. You know the reason why. You know, Thanos thought what he was doing was right. He thought he was saving the universe, not destroying half of it.
Yeah.
But Heath Ledger changed, or I should say the Joker in The Dark Knight. You know, every time he told his origin story, it changed. It was a different story. You don't know why he's doing it. He's just doing it. It's the same thing with Michael Myers. There's no motive, and that makes it scarier. It makes it scarier when the villain is doing it for no reason, because you can't argue with them. You can't reason with them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I could go on. We should probably do an episode on the Dark Knight trilogy.
I think that would be dope. I would love to.
Because I mean, that movie, the other thing that I love about The Dark Knight is you think the movie's going to end. You know, when Batman's on the bike and he's riding towards the Joker, you think that that's like the climax of the whole movie, and you're really only halfway through.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that when we went and saw it in the movie theater, I was like, this is the ending and this is amazing. And then there's another hour of the movie left, you know, and that's awesome. But then, number 6, Spider-Man from 2002, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
It's honestly
That,
the best superhero movie, one of the best superhero movies of all time.
I would also put that in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
It, for nostalgia purposes, again, being a 90s kid, he was my Spider-Man
Mm-hmm.
when we were growing up. I that movie again it's masterful in the way that it tells that story. And yeah, it's 2000s. I mean, it's got that 2000s vibe to it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's so fun, and it's just it's fun, but it all and it. How should I put this? I'm getting excited now. It keeps the vibe of like the comic book Spider-Man. I think it may be the most comic book accurate in terms of the vibe Spider-Man that we've gotten.
Fair. I agree with you. I think what my personal opinion with the Spider-Man 2 of Tobey Maguire, the story is just so rich. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
yes.
it's so in depth. It shows the struggle Peter Parker is going through being Spider-Man, and just whenever, because like it just basically talks about Peter Parker, like he's Spider-Man already, and but he in all reality, like he doesn't really want it to be. He didn't want to be Spider-Man, but he just wanted to live a normal life. He wanted to have MJ. He wanted to have a job and go to college and have a degree and all that. But when he became Spider-Man, like all of that went out the window, and he was
With great
trying.
power comes great responsibility.
Exactly, and it felt to the point where, like, even though he was a hero, he didn't get anything in return, and that was a really hard thing for him to deal with, because while he was Spider-Man, he like got fired from his job. He was doing bad in college, and everything he tried to do with MJ, it just kept pushing MJ back, and it got to the point where like his frustration and stress just like ended up taking away his powers, and that was the last thing he had to hold on to. So like he didn't know what to do, and the theme of it was like, what does it take to be a true hero?
Yep.
And it's just and the true hero just saying, like, taking your responsibility and knowing that you're not going to get anything in return. It's just the fact that you doing what you know is right, and not expecting anything in return, which what made it so powerful of a movie.
Yeah,
and
that's a perfect way of putting it. It's a very powerful movie.
Yes.
That ending scene where he says, "Who am I? I'm Spider-Man."
Mm-hmm.
And
that's where he's making the decision.
That is like it. It's such a powerful ending to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like you watch that and you're just like, wow, like it's really good. But those are my my bottom half. So what's your bottom half?
Your bottom half is pretty in depth with some impactful movies. Mine, I mean, well, here, let me just go with it. Top 10, you'll be surprised, is from 10, it's going to be Godzilla 2014, the newest reboot. 9 is When Harry Met Sally. Those of you that
That's in your top 10?
It is.
Holy shit.
Those of you that saw the Instagram live where you were in it, and one of our friends asked what was my top 3 80s movies, When Harry Met Sally. Number 8 is going to be the Rush Hour series. Number 7, Avengers Infinity War, and number 6 is Civil War.
Oh, just wow.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Yeah.
Wow.
And honestly, like when Harry Met Sally, like I love that movie. Like it's a good
movie. It's a very good movie.
And I don't know, just the story with it is like, these two people meeting each other. They start out not liking each other. They become friends, and then they end up not liking each other again, and then all of a sudden they come back together. And I forgot who the guy, what's his name that plays it? I forgot.
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal?
Yeah.
Golly, he's hilarious in the movie.
Oh, he's great. He's a great actor.
So cynical and everything. And just the vibe, the atmosphere that it had in that movie is just really interesting. And I don't know, it's a good holiday movie to me too, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a good holiday movie, so that's why I enjoyed that. Obviously Godzilla 2014 was one of my favorites, because it revitalized a childhood favorite of mine. I mean, obviously I have 2 posters right here for it, because when this poster came out, This was the first poster that came out. When I saw that, immediate ejaculation. Just saying. I was like, oh, we're going for it. There it is. When I saw that poster come out, I was like, here we go. I'm hyped for a second. I was so hyped. But then I realized, oh, wait, this is made by Legendary. And I was like, I hope to God they don't mess this up. But they made it work. And guess what? We have a Monsterverse now.
Yeah.
And it's literally my childhood love coming back while I'm this age, and it's absolutely great. I love it. I love the fact that this franchise, the Godzilla franchise, is coming back into this generation, and people that were my little kids are going to be watching it, and then they'll end up loving it, and that's really exciting to know. It's one of my favorite remakes, and on our last podcast we talked about remakes.
Yep.
This is
that's
one of
fair.
my favorite remakes or reboots, pretty much, and I see this going pretty far because we're only 3 movies in.
This will be the third.
Monsterverse?
Yeah.
Yeah, and look how big it's gotten already.
Yep.
Like there's a big following for it. So
Right.
obviously it's one of my top 10s. Number 8, obviously Rush Hour series. It's a little weird, but I did grow up with that movie from Rush Hour 1 and 2.
I
Loved it.
understand why. I do.
Yeah, absolutely. I love those two, Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Great buddy cop duo. They're hilarious. And also, like I did mixed martial arts, and I trained when I was a kid. So obviously, I love Jackie Chan. So when I saw him in the movie, the comedic element and all of it was hilarious. I don't know if you know this. Don Cheadle is in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that's the first time I saw Don Cheadle, and he was absolutely hilarious. And just the relationship they have with each other. And if you guys watch interviews and like the history of Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan, it's so in depth, and like they have a true friendship outside the movie, and it's great. When you have that chemistry, that makes the movie 10 times better.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's why the Rush Hour series, I love it. I grew up with it, and I'll still rewatch it literally tonight if I want. So again, with 7 and 6, I mean, it's the MCU. Like I absolutely loved what they're doing. Avengers Infinity War was just a culmination of everything that's happened.
I'm shocked that Infinity War was so low on your list. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you'll understand why to a certain degree, but yeah, I mean, it's a great movie, but it's not one of my top movies. You know what I mean? Like it's in my top 10, obviously.
I'll say this. I struggled with that one.
Yeah, it's because I don't have that connection towards to Avengers Infinity War. Like I grew up watching it and it was great to see, but it's not something that like I want to see. I want to rewatch every time. Like now when I think of MCU, like I think, okay, well, we'll just do a marathon and we'll watch it all the way up to Infinity War and Endgame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those. It's like let's do this for the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And without giving away where Infinity War falls on my list, because it is on my list. I will say in the top
5 now.
It is in my top 5. I'll say this. I think Infinity War was incredibly important, but I think it's not as I don't know. Let's move on. We'll get there. I don't know how to say this without.
I got you. We'll talk about it when it's on your list, obviously.
Yeah, we'll get there.
And number 6, Civil War, mainly because it is the best Marvel movie story-wise.
I will agree with
by
that.
the script.
I would agree.
God, because it had a great villain, and it basically was a Captain America movie, but it was like
it felt like an Avengers movie, though.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just I don't know. It's just so. It's so detailed. It's the first movie the Russo brothers did, right?
They did the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
And then they did Civil War.
All right. I think whenever Civil War came out, they realized the Russo brothers got in the bag. They're going to be our Avengers team. So basically, like, it's just so in depth. The story behind it's great. Almost every single character has their own story, and they face some type of tribulations. Like everyone has their own moment in the movie, and it's just so interesting to know. Like I didn't expect Baron Zemo to be one of the main villain of the movie.
And he was a kick-ass villain.
And he was a kick-ass villain. What he was able to do to the Avengers just basically shows what it basically embodied what he is in the comics. Like, he's a master strategist.
It makes me
And
all the more excited for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier,
exactly.
knowing that he's going to come back.
I'm excited to see what he can do because I mean he broke up the Avengers. Like, what is there left to do?
Yeah.
Like, he did what no person can do other than Thanos. But you know, he had the Infinity Gauntlet, for God's sakes.
Yeah, he was Thanos.
So yeah, that's my 10-6.
Sweet deal. All right, so for this point, for our top 5, we're going to switch back and forth. My number 5, and you might be shocked as to where this falls on my list, is King Kong from 2005, Peter Jackson's King Kong.
Really? Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, my top 5 is really hard because, again, any one of these could change order. I mean, you know how excited I just got talking about The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But I think King Kong from 2005 is a masterpiece. I remember going and seeing it in the movie theater. It's my favorite remake. I think it's one of the few movies that is equal to the original. I'm not going to say it's better than the original because it was so the time span between them is so large. You can't really compare them because of the technology. But the King Kong from 2005 feels huge. You know what I mean?
It does. They made Skull Island feel like you were inside Skull Island, and it's just this giant environment filled with all types of twisted monsters.
Absolutely. And you know, they really, the whole world building thing that we like to talk about, they really built upon the world of Skull Island with the dinosaurs and the bugs and the creatures and the islanders. They really built upon the mythology of what Kong was. And I personally, I know a lot of people like this MonsterVerse. He's a massive 140-foot tall hulking walks upright thing. I actually really liked that they took him back to, like, he looks like a silverback gorilla. He's basically a 45-foot tall gorilla. Like, that's what he is. And I liked that. I thought that was cool. I thought it was different. It was a killer cast. Adrian Brody, Jack Black, who played, what was her name, who played Anne?
Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts, yeah. It was a great cast. It was the whole thing was stellar. You know, hearing Peter Jackson talk about it, you know, Peter Jackson said watching the original King Kong when he was little was what was inspired him to be a filmmaker. So, you know, the passion was there. And even if you look at, like, the video game, the King Kong video game, which I played that game through more times than I could count, it added to the story.
By the way, I gathered a lot of late fees renting that video game. Not gonna lie. I did not want to return it.
So that's my number 5. I could talk about that movie for 4 hours if I wanted to.
I gotcha. Yeah, all right. So my number 5 is Godzilla vs. Destoroyah. 1995.
You put that far above the remake?
Yes.
Wow.
Because Godzilla vs. Destoroyah was, I think it was the 3rd or 4th Godzilla movie that I first saw.
I'm not trying to interrupt you. It made me think of it this morning. I was on YouTube. I was actually looking at our video that went live this morning for The Last of Us, and there was this in the suggested Shin Godzilla from a few years ago. That thing's eyeballs are 10 times the size of its damn head. It's weird. Like, I clicked on it and I was watching it and I was like, ugh. Like, it looks disturbing. Like, it doesn't, it's not even scary because of what it is. It's like, it looks nasty. I don't know. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. That just, like, popped into my head.
It's an interesting take on Godzilla, and I haven't seen it. I need to see it so I can get an opinion on it. I mean, the design of him is really out of the ordinary.
I mean, his eyeballs were like...
Yeah.
It looked like a cartoon.
From what I understand from the reviews is, like, it's not necessarily a Godzilla movie. It's mainly just like a Japanese government kind of movie. Like, how would they handle an actual Godzilla event. Like if
Yeah.
he was alive and like real, like how would they react in the most realistic fashion?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Godzilla vs. Shoya is one of my top five. It is my number five, mainly because of the impact it had on the franchise, and also the story behind it, the score. I forgot the name of the composer. It's like Akira Ifukube or something like that. You got to look him up, Brad. He's a great composer, and what he's able to do for the franchise and the scores that he made for that franchise basically enhance the movie
Is he
by
Japanese?
he's Japanese.
Okay.
What he was able to do to create the atmosphere for Godzilla versus Destroya, it basically like was saying it was the whole score was basically saying Godzilla's going to die. It's basically saying that it's like this is the end of Godzilla because basically like in Godzilla versus Destroya, it's basically saying like it's during the Heisei period of Godzilla, and like throughout that period, like you could see Godzilla gaining more and more power and more nuclear energy, and it all came down to Godzilla versus Destroya, where he is just so filled with so much nuclear energy that he can't contain it, and the Chinese government is trying to figure out a way to either kill Godzilla before he blows up because they say he's gonna blow up and it's gonna be bigger than any nuclear blast they've ever had. Like it's gonna be a world-ending event. So they're trying their best to either kill him before it happens or subside it, and they fuck the plan up so bad, and basically at the end, it was supposed to be the end of Godzilla. Like when this movie came out, it was hitting big news saying like this is the end of Godzilla, this is the end of him, there will be no more. This is where they created a whole statue and a walk of, and like in honor of Godzilla.
Yeah.
And just the ending of it along with the score, you got to listen to that score. It is absolutely heartbreaking to see. When I was a kid and I saw that, it was so heartbreaking to see, and that was my fourth movie. I was like, that's it. And
You're
then I
getting
realized there's
emotional.
like, yeah. And then I realized there's plenty more to go from. But it was
Right.
just so emotional to see. It was one of the more emotional Godzilla movies in the franchise, and that's why it's one of my favorite.
Hmm.
And by the way, you say you want me to see Halloween. I want you to see Godzilla versus Destroya.
Okay.
It is a
Well,
great movie.
do you have it? Do you own it?
Hell yeah, I do.
Okay.
I have it on DVD and VHS.
We'll have to watch it. We'll have to
Yep.
watch it. All right. Speaking of Halloween, my number 4 is Halloween from 1978.
Okay, so the original, right?
Yeah. What do you even say about that movie? I mean, I, I'm not gonna lie. I saw the first one I ever saw was Rob Zombie's remake, and I loved
that
it.
got you into it?
Yeah, that got me into it.
Okay.
I watched the original and I fell in love with it. I mean, it's the original is so well done, and it's funny because it was like they didn't think twice about what they were doing. It was just like, let's make this $500,000 movie. It was a low budget. It's not gory. It's not over the top. It's just a good slasher movie with suspense. Um, you know, the whole idea of Michael Myers being this killer who you don't know why he snapped as a kid. You don't know why he's doing what he does.
Yeah.
He just is. He's just there. And you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, that was her first major film. You know, I don't even know what more you say about Halloween. It's amazing. I mean, obviously, we're going to be talking about Halloween a lot more as we get more news and a trailer and a poster for Halloween Kills, and you know, as we move forward.
Mhm.
But I digress for right now. For now, we're going to bookmark that conversation.
Yep. So let me think. I'm on number 4. Gotcha. My number 4 is surprisingly, guess what? It's a Disney movie. It's an extremely goofy movie.
Your list is weird. It's
It
good.
is.
It's great. It's a good list, but I shouldn't say weird. It's just like boom, 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 boom. It's all over the place.
It is, and also because it's a childhood favorite of mine.
And I understand that. I completely get that.
And I had that on VHS, and honestly, guys, I mean, we didn't have cable whenever I was young. We didn't really watch TV. We all had all of this list of just VHS that we would watch, and
Yeah.
Extremely Goofy Movie was one of my favorite. It's the one where Goofy's son Max goes to college,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and seeing that as like a 5-year-old kid, like it made college look absolutely dope.
Yep.
And honestly, it hyped me up too much because college is it's I mean
It's a lot of
it's
work.
kind of there. It's kind of there. It's actually more work than skateboarding and coffee runs.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
it's
a good
a
one
good
though.
movie.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the soundtrack is dope. Goofy's storyline throughout the movie is amazing. The relationship between Max and Goofy is always nice. It's that father son. Like he wants to go out to his own world, but Goofy wants to just be around him and just still have that little kid with him.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just Disney doesn't really do that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That type of relationship ish kind of thing.
Yep.
It's not really there anymore, and that's why I love the Extremely Goofy Movie. Also, that um scene where he's in the disco, and it was
Yeah.
I think I forgot what it's not the Bee Gees. I gotta remember the song. I know the song, guys. I'm a big '70s and '60s and '80s music guy too. Like big fan of that period. So whenever I heard it, like I love the soundtrack because it's a very like groovy '70s '60s vibes.
Yep.
It's great. So
Absolutely.
that's why it's one of my favorite.
Cool.
And what's your number 4?
All right. My number 2 and number 3, I'm gonna say together.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. Yeah, we're on number 3. You haven't even been drinking. What the hell are you talking about? All right.
I don't know.
My number 2 and number 3, I'm gonna say together because there, as I said before, there's specific reasoning. My number 3 is Avengers: Infinity War.
Okay.
My number 2 is Avengers: Endgame. Now, here's the thing. I think overall, Infinity War is a better movie.
Yes.
I think Endgame, though, I mean, I have to think back to that night. Do you remember when we went to go see Avengers: Endgame, and we went there, and the movie, the line out of the Cinemark was out onto the street to go see that, and we finally made our way up there, and she said, there's like 4 seats left, but they're scattered. You're going to be much better if you come back later. And we went at like 9:45 or something.
I do remember that. I remember that day very well. And I remember when we went over there, we were lucky to get the top seat. Honestly, guys,
we were.
When I go to movie theaters, some people like to be very up front. I don't particularly like that because of my eyes.
I like to be at the center at the very top.
Exactly. So we got that perfect seat too.
We did.
I don't know how the hell we did that, but we got that perfect seat. And I just remember watching it, and I was just on the edge. Even though it's like, guys, it's not on my top 10. Sorry, but even though it's not on my top 10, it was still a great movie.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason why is because it was just something that built up over time.
I
built a connection with it.
That's the thing for me, is that I don't think Avengers: Endgame it's not in my top 10. Now, don't get me wrong. It is a masterpiece of a movie. It's fantastic. But I don't think it's necessarily one of the greatest movies ever made. I think it meant so much to me and to so many other people because we were with the MCU from day one. I mean, I remember I saw Iron Man 1 and Avengers: Endgame in the same movie theater.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Like it was just such a symbolic ending. And not even ending, but an ending of that era. You know what I mean?
The saga, pretty much.
Yes. And
because
that's why I put Endgame over Infinity War. Yes, Infinity War is the better movie, but Endgame was so meaningful and so impactful. I mean, I was crying. Do you remember in the movie theater when Cap says Avengers Assemble, everybody was screaming? I was tears were rolling down my face. It was the most impactful movie going experience of my life. I mean, I still have I got my Endgame poster back here.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the movie ticket right here in the corner. The movie,
Oh, I
the
think I have
movie
that
ticket
too.
is in the white corner.
It's somewhere. I think it's in my I think it's in my I have a box of just shit that I want to keep. I think it's in that. So I mean
Yeah,
like I'm sure it's in there.
but
But I
you
agree with
know,
you. I think the reason why though is because it's it's one of the most culturally impactful movie. There you go.
it really
Best
is,
way.
and that's why I put it at number two, because I can't think of an experience of sitting in even watching Halloween 2018. I was batshit excited for Halloween 2018,
Hmm.
but even seeing, Peter Jackson's King Kong when I was little, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and The Dark Knight, and Pirates of the Caribbean, nothing had an impact on me like going to see Endgame,
Hmm.
just because it was so symbolic and so meaningful. So that's why I put it at my number two. At my
I
number
got you.
two.
So now
But
that you did your 3 and 2, I'm gonna have to do 3 and 2 now.
yeah, do your
Yeah.
two and three.
So number 3 is you're probably never heard of this movie. Number 3 is The Gods Must Be Crazy. Have you ever heard of that?
Heard of it, but I've never seen it.
I think my dad introduced me to that movie, and by far, it is still one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Let me give you some. I remember I showed it to someone, and even she didn't know what the movie was, and I was like, "Trust me, when you see it, you're gonna love it." And it's basically about it's basically about this bushman in the Kalahari, and it's
Okay.
about this tribe that is disconnected from the world, and it's set in like the 1980s, and
Yeah.
it's basically about this tribe that literally is so disconnected from the world. They are like, so backdated, so ancient, and they all they do is they hunt with, the bow and arrow. They use bone and like I think bones and sticks as like their main like source of like tools,
Yeah.
and they just all they know is just that life. And then all of a sudden, some guy flying a Cessna 172 was like drinking a bottle, like, like the old like 80s like
Yeah.
tall Coke bottles, drinking
Hmm.
it, literally throws it out the window, and it falls into in front of this bushman, and he doesn't know what the hell it is. He's like, what the heck is this? It's harder than bone, it's harder than stone. And he's like, okay, this must be a gift from the gods, because he doesn't know anything about the world. So he takes it back to his tribe, and they all just uh they all find it, and they're all amazed by it, and they're using it, but then it creates something that they've never experienced before, which is jealousy, envy, because they want this gift from the
Okay.
gods, this freaking Coke bottle, this glass Coke bottle. And this bushman, I forgot what his name was, decides this is causing too much havoc in our home, so I'm going to take it to the edge of the earth and throw it off the edge of the earth, give it back to the gods. And throughout his journey, he meets these people, civilized people, just going through in Africa, and he's never seen anyone that's not of his color, or these people, white people, people with blonde hair. So like in his head, when he meets these people, he thinks they are gods.
Yeah.
And the people that the actors and the characters in that movie that he thinks are gods are complete nitwits. Oh my god, they're absolutely idiotic. They do the dumbest stuff ever.
This
And
kind of
there's
sounds
obviously a
interesting.
story.
I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
the storyline is hectic with it, and it's just him going through civilization, or modern civilization. He's like, I don't know what the heck this is. Like, like these people are crazy. Hence the name, The Gods Must Be Crazy.
Yeah.
So the story is just absolutely hilarious. I love it. It's in the 1980s, and there's a Gods Must Be Crazy too, and that's just as funny as well. So that's a movie we got to check out. Like, it's, guys, let me know in the comments if you guys have ever seen The Gods Must Be Crazy. Let me know what you guys think, because it's I wouldn't say it's a cult classic. It's a hidden gem in the 1980s. It's a great movie.
Oh.
And let's see, number 2 is gonna be another 80s movie, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh God, I love that movie.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
good one, man.
it's a good movie, and I don't know. It's just
I
like
could have said that to Lauren's answer or Lauren's question
I know I'm
during the
so
Q and
mad.
A.
I didn't want to hint our list. You know what I mean? So I had to think of
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that
yeah.
would that is those are still my favorite movies, Lauren, by the way.
Right.
Just letting you know, like those are my favorite movies too. But The Gods Must Be Crazy is one of my favorites as well, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off is one of my favorites as well.
Classic,
Yeah,
classic.
it's basically like your dream idea of what you would do if you would have skipped school.
Yeah.
If you would have cut class and just had your day out in the world. And the cast is awesome. The whole storyline is awesome. That musical piece that he did, like in the parade, was fucking
Yeah,
hilarious. I
yeah.
thought it was brilliant, and it's a great movie for me to watch. I would watch it every single day, and I'd be completely happy.
We'll never forget when the credits are rolling.
Yeah, he says
You're still here?
it's over.
Go.
Like
Go
why?
home.
And then
Go.
and then
Go.
Deadpool did it.
Yeah.
And then Deadpool did it. Ryan Reynolds. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. I love it.
Right.
So,
Alrighty, should we move on to our number one?
yep.
I think this might be shocking for both of us.
Okay, let's see what you got.
My number one favorite movie of all time. It is not the greatest movie ever made. It is not Academy Award winning. But
Okay.
I have seen this movie more times than I think any other film that I've ever seen.
Okay.
And it is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now,
How the hell did I not guess that? I should have known that.
I watched
I'm
this
pissed.
movie probably upwards or 5 or 6 times during the Christmas season, during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
It's my tradition on Thanksgiving or Black Friday night. I watch Christmas Vacation. It's just there's something nostalgic and homey and comforting about it.
Mm-hmm.
I laugh my ass off every time I watch it. It's hilarious. I could quote that movie from start to finish. I mean, everything. I love all the vacation movies. Chevy Chase is, classic. You gotta love Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
But it's just, there's something about it. It's got this charm to it it's hilarious every single time you watch it. It doesn't get old.
What's that line that I keep thinking of whenever he's talking to someone? He's like, "Do you want anything? Water, coffee? Tie you up, throw you in the trunk, leave in the desert for dead?" I was like, "What?"
Eddie, can I get you more eggnog? Get you something to drink? Drive you out to the middle of nowhere, leave you for dead?
It's such a passive aggressive thing to say to someone.
Yeah.
Every time I heard it, I was like, "Okay."
The full majesty of a winter morn, an asshole in his bathrobe, emptying his chemical sewer emptying his chemical toilet into our sewer.
I don't remember who told me, but someone said that if I were to, I'm an uncle, by the way, and they said, I remember I told someone, and I was an uncle, and he said, so like from National Lampoon Christmas Vacation. I was like, and at that time I didn't see it. At that time, yeah, at that time when they told me that, I never saw the movie. But then I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I saw it, and I was like, really? I totally agree. No.
Yeah,
I love Eddie.
It's my favorite Christmas movie. It's my favorite movie. I have to. I mean, and it might seem silly. I mean, there are some A-list movies on my list, but I gotta say, there's something about it ever since I was little. It's crude, it's funny, it's stupid, but it's great. And it's classic.
And we froze. You froze, buddy.
Did we? You froze for me. The audio didn't freeze.
Oh, okay.
That's all that matters. But it's all right.
All right.
All right. What was your number one?
Alrighty. So my number one is a little bit out of field too, from what I've said. It's the only movie that I've seen that I like as a Western.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a Western, guys. And it's got a great cast. The cast is stacked. And just the storyline of it is phenomenal too. And my number one is Tombstone from 1993.
I feel it.
You've seen it?
I've seen it once. It's been a little. I'd have to rewatch it to really like re-soak it all in. But I've seen it once.
I saw it on AMC, which is the American Movie Channel, I think, on TV.
I don't
Is
know.
that the
I
name of
don't
the
know what
channel?
it stands for.
But
I just know I know The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad. That's
yeah, it was on AMC when I was young, and when I saw it, I absolutely fell in love. It's got Val Kilmer in it before he got fat, Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, and Bill Paxton. Rest in peace,
Great
Bill
cast
Paxton.
right there. That
Yeah,
is some
great cast.
great actors.
Yeah, and so Kurt Russell, Sam Elliott, and Bill Paxton are brothers. They're the Earp brothers, Wyatt Earp, Virgil Earp, Morgan Earp, and they basically come to this little small town and they want to, get their fortune. But when the Cowboys come in and they, overtake and they cause havoc, they end up being, the sheriffs of the town. And eventually they ended up becoming, I think, the Texas Rangers, I think is the right way to put it, because their job was to take down the Cowboys. And then I think it was Val Kilmer's character, Doc Holliday, which by far, Doc Holliday in that movie is one of my favorite. He is so stoic. He knows who he is. He knows how great of a gunslinger he is.
Yeah.
Just the atmosphere of that movie is so great. And just the cinematography of it, the storyline, the action sequences, they are all great, and it all comes together into this great movie that I would watch every single day on repeat. I do not mind it whatsoever, and it's like one of the only Western movies I like. And I know there's Clint Eastwood movies too, and those are great, but I don't know, Tombstone just resonated with me so much that it's just one of my favorite movies. And it came out of nowhere. I even surprised myself when I was thinking about this list. I was like, wow, Tombstone is one of my favorite movies, and it is my top 10 favorite movie. It's
honestly,
my number one.
I thought you were gonna say the Magnificent Seven at first.
Really?
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
That's a good movie too, but like in regards to like West, because back then, like the 90s and the 80s, Westerns was the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
60s, 70s probably.
Yeah, exactly. But Tombstone just surpasses all of them. It's a great movie with a great cast and great story. And I even go on YouTube and I rewatch certain scenes. Yeah. The final duel with Doc Holliday and I forgot what his name was. The other one, I think it's Ike Clayton or Johnny Ringo, I think. Yeah, Johnny Ringo. And just that last duel was by far amazing. And I don't know, that made me really into the Cowboys and Westerns kind of stuff. Like I was a big Cowboy fan too back then. And I mean, there's a lot of other actors that I didn't know were in there too. Like they were so young and like I see them in these new movies, and I'm like, my God, you were in that movie too.
Yeah.
So that's my number one, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Well, that's the list. I know we've kept you for a while. Thank you to everybody who participated in our Q&A on Instagram Live tonight. That was awesome. We definitely want to do some more live shows pretty soon. I want to thank you for listening. Again, as always, thank you for taking the time out of your week to hang out with us. We have made it to 10 episodes, and we're going to keep on trucking. Please, if you have not found us on Twitter and Instagram, @WeTalkTheMovies, we would love to hear what you have to say. What are your top 10 favorite movies? Let us know on Twitter. Find us on Instagram. Leave us a comment. Our whole Instagram live session was posted on that account, so you can go back and rewatch. It'll be here. Guys, thank you so much. We will be back. New episodes drop Monday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, we will talk to you soon. Peace out.
Peace.